the great thing about having faith for me is that, 2 years ago we went through some of the hardest stuff that we've ever been through, both personally and as a band and with our career. And I don't know that I would have been able to find my identity in just about anything else. We work hard and we are sincere about what we do.
Everybody just plays music because they love it.
It's a 5-way marriage.
You can really see our passion.
This is really where my heart is, Paramore.
So you are on the record with Fuse.
Yes. Nice.
Now we've come to Franklin, Tennessee, where you guys live. We're right near Nashville, which has an amazing music history.
Yeah.
And you guys grew up and became rockers. And I just wonder, like, what was the scene that allowed you guys to get signed when you're in a world that's super country?
What's really cool about Franklin and about Nashville is that there is, a lot of different music, and there's a lot of like indie music and punk rock. I think that's what's so cool. Kids start bands at age 13 here, and it's the normal.
All right, Jeremy, I gotta ask you this question. You get into Paramore, the success starts to come, the group gets signed, and you say, I'm out of here. I don't want to do this anymore.
I did.
Why did you walk away from this great little band?
I think it was a number of things. Like, it was wearing on me, and at the same time, we were practicing so much that between that and like going to church all the time and stuff like that, it was really hard for me to even have a job. So I was like in debt, and I really got scared, I think.
The group was clearly hurt because the song and the album cover alludes to you leaving. So how hurt was the group, and why'd you take them back when you came back?
Yeah,
good question.
why did we? Actually, we were playing a showcase for Fueled by Ramen Records that day, and then Jeremy goes, hey guys, I need to talk to you. And we're like, okay, well, yeah, sure. I had no idea, and he's like, I got a ticket home today, I'm going back to Nashville. And we're like, wait, what? And he's like, I'm going back to Nashville. And I just like started crying. I was just so bummed. And I guess I kind of thought in the back of my head, like, maybe if I cry long enough, he'll change his mind, because maybe I can like
That's
look.
how she's used to getting stuff, huh?
And I remember talking to him on the phone and like on Instant Messenger, and him being like, yeah, I got a job at Domino's. I'm like, I'm delivering pizzas. I'm like, that's not gonna last.
That lasted 3 days.
Yeah.
And then I sold knives for like a while.
Yeah.
I just found out how terrible I was at everything.
So this year, Josh took time away from the tour to plan his wedding.
Yeah.
You don't need to leave your job to plan a wedding. So what's really going on there?
I don't really know, because I kind of thought like, okay, but after touring on this album, and it's been pretty nonstop since we wrote it, and I've never really seen Josh take time the way some of the rest of us have. So if that's what he needed, was to take some time away just for himself, he doesn't really wholly have to explain that to.
How hard has it been working in a band with a guy you dated for several years? It was clearly a key relationship in your life.
Yeah.
You got to see him all the time. How hard is that?
It's not as bad as you would think. We all showed up at the wedding, and it was like, I almost don't even remember that, I dated him.
So it was easy to see this guy you really loved get married to another girl and just go.
Because I love Josh. He's one of my best friends, but it wasn't meant to be that way with me and him. For us to break up it was the best thing we could do for our friendship, the best thing that could happen for the band, and I'm really, I'm proud of both of us.
This new album is much more about friendships, right? And betrayals. And losing a friend can hurt as much or more than the breakup of a romantic relationship.
Oh yeah,
right?
Totally.
When your friendships break up.
I was writing a journal, and I was writing about the guys, and I was writing about our, all of our friendship, and how it's like, it's one thing when you lose a friend or when your friends become enemies, but it's the worst when your friends become strangers.
Right,
and
right.
I think that was hard for all of us to accept, and then say, okay, so how are we gonna relearn each other?
This album was emotionally difficult for you guys to make, right? The band is going through a lot of strife, right?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that and like what was going on, and the quote about wanted to throw you through a window and like.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Tell me that quote.
I heard.
Are you starting?
Jeremy, you said you guys wanted to throw Hayley through
Oh,
the
man,
window
that's not
of
even
the
true.
studio console,
Man,
right?
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Oh, okay.
heck no.
Okay.
No,
You
no,
could have,
no.
though.
Look how
I'm
ready,
like-
look how ready he is.
No,
No, I
man.
didn't say it. I mean, I think we understood it as, not as angry as it sounds on the surface,
No, I
but there was a lot of
understand.
strife going on this album,
Yeah.
right?
It's like you said, it was emotionally difficult, but we needed it. The thing is, to us, it was like, it didn't even feel like we were making a record. It felt like we were just like really mending like the tears.
But the time at the studio was referred to as being in a torture chamber.
The first studio. We
Yeah,
spent
yeah.
we kind of split our time because the first half of the process was spent here in Franklin writing, and it was just torture to sit around with all these thoughts that I knew had to get out, but like how was I gonna say that to the guys? How was I gonna sing ignorance to them for the first time? And once I finally did, all the anger kind of started flushing out of me, and I was able to get rid of it. And then that was only the beginning for the guys,
I mean, think about it. We've been practicing for a little bit, and the first time she comes back with lyrics, we're here, and she's like singing it real quiet. We're
I'm
like-
trying to
We're trying to
mumble.
listen to see if we like it, and we're like, wait a minute, like she's
Yeah,
talking about
sucks.
us, like it really was tough. But I mean, it had to have been like that. It wouldn't have worked any other way.
There's this Anais Nin quote that you love. And the day came when the risk to remain in bud was more painful than the risk to blossom. So where are you in your life? Are you in bud and fighting to come out? Or are you blossomed and fighting to deal with that?
Where I am in my life right now, I'm learning that every single thing that I love is a process, whether it's music or whether it's, the band and just our friendships or whether it's love. I guess I don't really know where I am now, but that quote still has always, to me, rang a lot of truth, and I love it. I don't think I could ever see myself with just my name, in lights. I've never seen myself like that.
Talk about the new video, Brick by Boring Brick, which is the most beautiful, most
Thank you.
stylized, most cinematic video you guys have ever done.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration?
It's kind of creating this image of a different world this girl is escaping to in order just to forget about reality. And we wanted to create that world that she's going to, which is very Alice in Wonderland, very Pan's Labyrinth.
What does the girl with the butterfly wings mean?
She represents a part of someone that can't really grow up.
At the end of the video, she falls in the grave.
Yes.
You throw in the doll and walk away. And it looks so cruel.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't help her, the little girl just fell, help her. But it's about what? Letting your...
It's about killing off your past, really.
Right.
So many people just like live in it. I mean, I've done that and I've been hurt by people that do that, and I think it's like, it sucks.
I really like The Only Exception. It's a great
you.
song. Talking about you don't think love exists except for this one person you found, right? But it seems like you've had a lot of love. So I'm like, why are you putting out this song where you question, does love exist?
I don't know. I think for me, I've always hoped, but also been through situations where, it just kind of would squash that every time. And
So does love exist?
Oh, sure it does, but I didn't ever really think that it could be something that was wholehearted and pure. I didn't think that 100%, and there's a lot of surrender that has to happen in a real and a good relationship. I've always been really, really scared to do that, and I'm still learning, and I'm getting there, and I feel like I'm doing that, and it's surprisingly, it's not horrific. It's been okay.
Talking about spreading the message of Paramore, you're about to go on one of the biggest tours,
Yeah.
if not the biggest tour of your career.
Yeah, it's the biggest one we've ever done, and especially for the States, I feel like it's the most commercial tour we've ever done. To team up with like Honda Civic is just, it's a tour we've always wanted to be on.
2008. You're on tour in Europe.
Yes.
And then you canceled 6 shows because you had personal problems in the band. What happened?
First of all, we never didn't love our fans and music. It was just hard for us to be together. And not to mention the fact that, myself and Josh dated for 3 years and we had a breakup and that wasn't easy. It was like, these are the same problems I guess we would have dealt with in high school or college or whatever, but just magnified by the fact that like 1 million people are watching all the time.
But part of the problem Josh talked about was the focus is all on Hayley,
Oh,
right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
what about that part of it?
it never seems like that was the real issue. I mean, I do more stuff now, alone, without the rest of the guys than I've ever done before, and everyone seems fine with it. Everyone's really comfortable, and
You just did a video where we just see really you. Is everybody getting comfortable now? She's the star and let her.
I think the only confusion with all that, we never really thought, oh, Hayley has all this. Like, we wish we had it. It was never really like that. I think more of anything, it was if there was ever a situation, I was like, why don't they want us? But it's simple if you actually look at it. If you're talking about a cover of a magazine, it's very easy to fit one person on there and really hard to fit 5 on there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think there's ever going to be a time when I would rather do something alone than with the guys,
So there will never be the Hayley solo project?
I mean, no, I don't think I could ever see myself with just my name, and lights. I've never seen myself like that. In fact, when I started getting into music, I wanted to be the drummer. I was like, I want to be as far away from the front as I possibly can. And when people see me doing things on my own and, photo shoots or, the song with B.O.B. or anything like that, like, that's all amazing and it's my passion because it's art and it's creative. But this is really where my heart is Paramore.
So, you toured with No Doubt.
We toured with No
Yep.
Doubt, yeah.
What was that like?
It ruled.
No Doubt are one of the biggest bands of our generation. I was on cloud 9 that whole tour. I loved it.
Is Paramore influenced by No Doubt?
I don't think we've ever been like really influenced by them. Of course, though, they're an incredible band. In fact, I don't even know any other bands that are really like them.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. It was such an honor going out with them, and it was like 2.5 months of mayhem.
But you're in this area of music, the genre, where it's mostly guys.
Right.
And there's a lot of sort of talking about women as heartbreakers.
Yeah.
And yet you're a woman and a tomboy within that. Talk about that.
It's, the typical description for like an emo kind of, like the emo genre. And that's kind of what we ended up jumping right into in, the height of it.
But it's okay to call you emo? Are you comfortable with that or not
You
really?
can call us whatever you want. As long as people are listening to the music, I don't really care. I mean, our songs in the beginning were very like, I guess you could say they were like androgynous. But as I got older and as I learned, more about writing and how I wanted to express myself, I found it hard to not be as specific as I wanted to be. And so that's when I started bringing in songs like Misery Business is totally about a girl that I couldn't stand. She was a heartbreaker.
What do you have to say to the boys who look at women only as heartbreakers and are a little like afraid of women?
I don't know. I mean, boys can be just as scary as girls can. I mean, any girl that I've ever been friends with, like, is totally cool and hangs out with guys all the time, and she's, she's not high maintenance. And I mean, there's plenty of those girls to go around. You just gotta find them, and you gotta be patient to find them.
So it's okay to trust girls.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, we're all right. We're okay.
Some of them.
It's really weird how much everything changed once we started touring. I mean, I remember spending one Easter Sunday at Hooters.
So you love Twilight
Yeah.
for many reasons at this point, I bet.
Depends on what reasons.
Oh, okay.
I don't think any of the boys are hot or cute.
Do you prefer the books or the movies?
I definitely prefer the books. I feel like there's just so much more you can see in your head than when someone puts it on a screen, and it was the first time that I'd ever experienced
But
that.
there's all this great, like, tension,
I
sexual
love that.
tension, but not. And I mean, I remember
Yeah.
in the first movie, watched it and it's like, wow, they want each other, but they're not doing it. And you get to the big moment where he watches her sleep, and it's the most romantic thing imaginable for her. Like, wow, we're not gonna have sex. This is great. And I'm like, as a man, I'm like, don't totally understand that. And as a young woman, it's like, yes, exactly
finally
it.
someone gets it. No, I guess I didn't see it that way reading the books. It kind of came to life very vividly on the screen, but yeah, I mean, they're romantic books, and there's a lot of tension, and I like that haunting thing that Bella has sort of within her at all times. I've felt that, and I've been through those situations where it's just this haunting feeling all the time, and whether it's like something that's forbidden that you just can't have, or whether, I mean, it could be a million things, but there's sort of this obsession throughout the whole book that I really related to, and I loved reading it.
I mean, the other reason why I'm sure you love Twilight is because you got on the soundtrack. And that helped propel your career to another plateau.
Yeah.
But you really wanted to be on that soundtrack. How did that happen?
I think I called John Janik, who's like the head of our label, and I said, we're writing this song right now, and I really want you to check it out for Twilight because I think it could fit. And I knew our fans would love it. And he, after making that phone call, it was like, okay, they want you to record it. It was a fun challenge getting there, and then once it happened, it was just like, I couldn't believe it turned into what it was. It was like ridiculous. We were at the premiere, we were meeting like movie stars. It was crazy. You
talked about going to church all the time. Do you still go to church all the time?
We're used to going to church every Sunday kind of thing, and then as soon as we started touring, like we're a lot of times we're playing shows on Sundays, and we're on a plane, or
you pray together as a band?
We do before every show.
Yeah, before every show and every practice, pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's really weird how much everything changed once we started touring. I mean, I remember spending one Easter Sunday at Hooters,
we did.
And before, and it's just because your life on tour, you don't remember what day it is. You don't know any. I mean, like, we went. I know I personally went a couple of years without going back to church because I think my mindset of what a church was really changed. It became less about a building or an organization and more about how you feel and a personal relationship. And
yeah, I feel like you may not be going to church, but God and Jesus is still very important and present to you.
To all of us, right?
Is that the way it is?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like when you're out on the road, like we said, there's no church, and it really is even hard to get all of us together to even do it. It's more about like your personal relationship.
I mean, you guys are Christians who rock. You are not doing Christian rock, but are there Christian allusions in the music that I'm not noticing?
Illusions, we hide them in there.
Yeah, we're like subliminal messages to try and trick kids into Christianity.
Well, no, I mean, there's a lot of hip hop that talks about a lot of Muslim in particular messages, and if you don't know that language, you don't know that you're getting all these Muslim lessons. So I don't know if you guys are sprinkling some stuff in there that I just haven't read enough to know.
If someone has a question and they ask us, we love talking about it. It's something that we're passionate about, but it's not our job to teach people.
Spread it,
yeah, we are totally having fun and hope that we can be a positive influence and people can come out and have a good time and listen to our music. And I think that what we believe will most likely always shape our opinions and our thoughts, but it's not our goal to write that down and spread it for everyone to learn from.
What would Jesus say about Paramore?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
That's why. I mean, I'm glad I don't know because I'm not Jesus. Everyone kind of has their own take on religion and on faith, whether they believe something or not. And it's not my job to tell them, and it's not Jeremy's job to tell them if it's right or not. We can only deal with our own hearts, and I'm comfortable with that, and I'm okay with that. I would rather not stand around and judge people, and for you to sit around and point your finger is not the right way to be.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Yep.